very proud. As I came down the street, oh yes, there were some servicemen there standing at attention, giving the military salute, ladies as well as men. Civilians as well as military paid me their respect, their reverence. Now, if I sound a bit conceit, well, I guess I have the right to. I represent the finest country in the world, the United States of America. More than one aggressive nation has tried to haul me down, only to feel the fury of this freedom-loving country. Many of you had to go overseas to defend me after a lot more blood had been shed since those patriotic parades of long ago. And I have a few stars added since you were a boy, but I'm still the same old flag. Dad is gone now, and the hometown has a new look. The last time I came down your street, I noticed that some of the old landmarks have given way to a number of new buildings and homes. Yes, sir, the old town sure has changed. I guess I have too, 'cause I don't feel as proud as I did back then. I see youngsters running and shouting through the streets, college boys and girls disturbing our campuses, people selling hot dogs and beer while our national anthem is played. Everything from apathy to riots. They don't seem to know or to care who I am. Not too long ago, I saw a man take off his hat when I came by. He looked around, didn't see anybody else with their hat off, so he quickly put his back on. Now, when I come down your street, you just stand there with your hands in your pockets. Occasionally, you give me a small glance and then look away. When I think of all the places I've been, Normandy, Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, Battle of the Bulge, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, I wonder what happened. I'm still the same old flag. How can I be expected to fly high and proud from buildings and homes when within them there is no thought of love or respect for me? Whatever happened to the patriotism, your patriotism, my patriotism? Have you forgotten what I stand for? Have you forgotten all the battlefields where men fought and died to keep this nation free? When you salute me, you're saluting them. Take a look at the memorial honor rolls sometime. Look at all the names of those who never came back. Some of them were your friends, some relatives, some neighbors, some even that were classmates of yours. Maybe even went to school with you and you didn't know it and thought something of you. That's what you're saluting, not me. Well, it won't be long before I come down your street again. So when you see me, stand straight, place your hand over your heart. Do this because I represent you. You'll see me wave back my salute to you.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'll gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on some individuals who represent their fellow Americans, their comrades, for each individual conflict. Call on the first gentleman. I said last night I'm in the West Snyder Rotary Club with him. I hope he doesn't hold it against me, but in May he will be 89 years old. He's one of the 2 members in the area that we have living with us and in our midst from the First World War. And this gentleman is John W. Herbster. John? John was in the First World War. He was inducted into the service at Camp Sherman, Ohio in September 21st, 1917. He was discharged as an ordnance sergeant from the same camp, May 8th, 1919. The individual representing his fellow soldiers, his fellow comrades, during the Second World War conflict is Paul Woodling, who served from June 1944 to June 1947. Paul, please. The next gentleman is also from the area and takes an active part in the local American Legions, the same as these 2 gentlemen do, Paul Woodling and John Herbster. The next man is Leroy Moyer, who spent 16 months and 3 days in Korea, August 1954 to June 1956. He was a member of the 8th Army. When in Korea, he went there as a private and was discharged as a staff sergeant. He spent most of his time in Busan, Incheon, and Seoul. He also spent 12 months at the DMZ along the 38th parallel. Leroy Moyer. The next gentleman represents his fellow comrades during the Korean conflict. No stranger to me, my brother Butch. He was drafted in October of 1968, took his training at Fort Dix. Later on, May the 9th in '69, he was sent to Vietnam. He was a member of 54 in a company, and out of that 54, only 3 of them returned. Butch was there 6 weeks until he was wounded, was sent back to the States. He has received the medals, a Good Conduct Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, the Purple Heart National Defense Service Medal, and he's expert in machine gun, pistol, and rifle. My brother, Butch. And the last conflict we were engaged in was the conflict of Grenada. John Thomas, stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina for 4 years with the 82nd Airborne. He was in the Combat Support Unit, made a total of 38 jumps, and also spent time in Germany, Panama, and of course was one of the first to parachute into Grenada in the invasion. Johnny.